of LA, Valley Sports West, the heart of the fan. In a time when legends were born and the Wild West knew no limits, one man stands tall against all others. Shohei Ohtani, the Maverick marksman. The fastest draw this side of the Mississippi.
The day begins with a Shohei Ohtani strikeout.
The one they call the Angel of the West.
Oh my goodness, it's just not fair.
Today, just after high noon, it's a duel that will echo in the annals of history. The desperado of the diamond takes aim against the Twins.
It's a perfect Sunday afternoon in Southern California to bring the kids to the ballpark and watch the spectacular Shohei in the finale of this three-game series, the rubber game between the Angels and the Minnesota Twins. Alongside Mark Gubicza, I'm Wayne Randazzo. Shohei Ohtani on the mound for the Angels today. But Gooby, Shohei has had some tough times lately on the mound, a little bit uneven with that sweeper.
Yeah, Wayne, I expected him to make that adjustment today, but when you see what he's been doing over the last few starts, you see there's a little bit of concern about where he's locating that sweeper. Batting average, opponent's batting average, the first 5 starts compared to the last 4, the OPS and the home runs, that's what really jumps out. 5 of them compared to 0 versus sweeper those first 5 starts. Let's take a look at our Frontier play sense and where the good sweeper goes here. It starts on the outside part of the plate. He's got a little bit higher arm angle to be able to create that downward action to get the swing and miss at 86 miles per hour. But this sweeper right here, the wrist drops a little bit, it gets more of the plate, and that's where you see that barrel of the bat, consistent contact though. Take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. 36 punch-outs with the sweeper, a lot off the plate. The ones that have been hit mainly have been in the middle part of the plate, including those 5 home runs. So avoid the middle, start it on the corner, and get some swing and misses.
Don't forget all the hitting that he's been done. Shohei, opponent's batting average, the best in the major leagues at 145. But he's been out hitting himself the way that he has been swinging the bat while he's been on the mound. He had 4 hits in his last start. Pitchers who rake, well, Shohei is the king of the hill in that regard, and he'll be on the mound today and at the plate as the Angels take on the Twins in the rubber game of this 3-game series.
Of the two-way baseball phenom in Japan. But this mysterious hero had yet to truly reveal his power on the world stage. Until an exhibition series before the 2016 World Baseball Classic. Shohei Ohtani stepped to the plate in the 5th inning of a game against the Netherlands. The legend was real. The next game would remove any doubt left. Shohei Ohtani stepped up to the plate in the 7th inning of the following game against the Netherlands. Nobody could believe what they just saw. Some say the ball made it halfway to Hawaii, but one thing was certain, our hero Shohei had arrived.
The spectacular Shohei, episode 1, narrated by Mark Gubicza. And now here is Shohei taking the mound on a beautiful Sunday at the Big A.
Oh, how fun was that to be able to do that? Lineage did a tremendous job with that, and Shohei Ohtani provides all that information and all the highlights and all the wow factor for Shohei on the mound here today against the Twins. My go-tos for Shohei to have a spectacular game here against Minnesota today is you got to be consistent with that horizontal break on his sweeper to get that chases out of zone, avoid the middle, and finish with his splitter. He threw a few more splitters last time out against Baltimore. I thought it was a very effective pitch, so finish with the split.
Minnesota's lineup will not have Byron Buxton. No surprise after Buxton left last night's game with what they said was right leg tightness. It's really the right knee that was surgically operated on, ending Buxton's season last year. Joey Gallo's batting leadoff. He's been doing that from time to time. Alex Kirilloff's been red hot since coming back from AAA. He's hitting 3rd for the Minnesota Twins today. The series victory on the line for both of these teams. The Angels won the opener Friday night. Yesterday it was Minnesota pulling off a 6-2 win here at Angel Stadium.
And the defense for the Halos today brought to you by Easton and Easton. You got Moniak on left, Trout in center, Renfro in right, Urshela, Neto, Luis Rengifo, Walsh, and Wallach. Luis Rengifo, 978 fielding percentage this season at second base with 10 double plays, 977 career-wise at second base. He's made some really solid plays as he continues to work harder and harder to make the routine plays, but also the spectacular ones for Luis Rengifo.
We'll see how it goes today for the Angels trying to win a series against the Minnesota Twins. The Angels have not won a series since they swept the Cardinals at Busch Stadium earlier this month. So they'll try to take 2 out of 3 from Minnesota, a team that hasn't won a series here at Angel Stadium in 4 years. So the Angels typically play well against this Minnesota team, as we see a somewhat unusual leadoff hitter. The powerful Joey Gallo starts the day in the batter's box against Shohei Ohtani. And we are underway with a very high pop-up off the bat of Gallo. This one will land in the seats. Handful of rows behind home plate.
This week, start him off with a cutter the first pitch. So a lot of times we've been seeing that sweeper, but with a lefty, going to try to keep him honest with that cutter in enough where he gets chased with that sweeper down off the plate.
Ohtani has had Gallo's number. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts is Gallo against Shohei.
Already using his splitter too. I like seeing that from Shohei. Sometimes he won't use that splitter the second or third inning. He must have had a good feel for that down in the bullpen as he got ready for today's game.
Throws it again. He's always been so reliant on the sweeper, and I'm sure it's gotten around the league that Shohei's throwing it over and over and over, and he's been hit hard at times on that pitch, but he throws so many other pitches, he doesn't have to be so reliant on one.
Nope. Especially when he's got that fastball.
Good pitch there on the cutter to get it by Joey Gallo. And it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Call him the creative one, so you never really know. You can never really sit on a certain pitch when Shohei's on the mound at any given moment.
Gallo trying to lay off, and he did, so it's a full count. It's important for Shohei to not stifle his own creativity out there. Cutters and splitters so far against Joey Gallo. And ball 4 comes on the fastball.
And my Hyundai key for the game today, going to finish up this country weekend here at the ballpark. Russell Dickerson, home sweet. 18-6 in his career at home, but a 2.10, a 0.982 whip in his career here at the Big A. So home sweet for Ohtani and a number of hitters in the lineup here for the Halos.
He has certainly ruled here at Angel Stadium. Carlos Correa bats. He has walked a bunch in this series. Ohtani starts in with a strike. Correa's walked 3 times in each of the first 2 games.
Overall with 22 walks to go along with 43 strikeouts.
Pops the fastball in there again and gets ahead of Correa. No balls and 2 strikes.
So he's thrown cutters, splitters, and now sinkers to Correa. This might be a time when he might break out the sweeper.
Hasn't thrown it yet. And he throws the splitter upstairs. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Carlos Correa. Correa just 1 for 7 against Ohtani. There's the sweeper, and it's a ground ball to short. Neto has it, flips to second for 1. Rengifo to first 2. A double play off the bat of Carlos Correa, and the first sweeper gets 2 outs.
And you love that ground ball. Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for Shohei Ohtani. Take a look at our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. That percentage sweeper 45, a little bit down from last time out. 4-seamer 26, cutter at 11. He's thrown a few more of those of late. Sinker, the splitter at 6%, curveball. I still think with all the lefties that will throw today, that curveball could be effective for him today.
And the creativity working early, and we're going to have a pitch timer violation here, I believe, against the batter Kirilloff.
That's not fun if you're a hitter. You're 0-1 against Shohei.
There's ball 1 to Alex Kirilloff. That evens the count after the pitch timer violation against the hitter.
It's already the 6th double play turn behind Shohei this season. A lot more ground ball action for him.
And that was a well-timed sweeper. He had thrown all the cutters and splitters, fastballs to the first 2 hitters, and then ahead of Correa, drops the sweeper and gets Correa out in front and hits a rolled over double play.
Exactly right on that one. Wayne, good job.
Kirilloff waves and misses at the cutter, and Shohei Ohtani, a sharp top of the first, puts up a 0. Hyundai, Mickey Moniak is back in the top spot. Moniak has really swung the bat well since coming up from AAA Salt Lake. Trout and Ohtani 2 and 3. Shohei, the starting pitcher today, and he has been walloping the baseball in his starts of late. There's Trout as he waits for his licks against Twin starter Pablo Lopez.
His fastball is 92-97. He'll throw a changeup, sweeper, and curveball. 53% secondary pitch usage.
Ball 1 to Mickey Moniak. Lopez has had a lot of trouble in the first innings this year. A 9 ERA in the opening inning. ERA goes down to 3 after that.
Yeah, batters are slugging .711 against him in the first inning. 3 home runs.
Mickey Moniak batting .450 since his call up. It's a couple of home runs to lead off games. Those happened on the road.
And it's cleared up nicely, so this baseball will be carrying in the afternoon here.
And it's turned into a lovely Sunday afternoon in Southern California. There's a strike from Lopez to make it 2 and 2. I saw about 1 million kids out there on the field before the game today, so there's a good crowd here at Angel Stadium.
They're ready to cheer.
Moniak whiffs on the curve from Pablo Lopez. He'll throw that pitch a lot to lefties especially. And a strikeout to start the day for Lopez.
My go-to is to be successful and have some runs scored, especially early on, as you got to lift that fastball in the air for some carry. 5 home runs, .533 slugging versus fastball. You got to catch that curveball at the high point when it goes below the knees. It's a very good swing and miss for him, but gets it out that high point and drive it. .409 batting average when you can get it at that point.
Mike Trout looks at a strike from Lopez. Mentioning the kids doing their parade route around the perimeter of the field today, walking by the Angels dugout. Well, Mike Trout's helmet got spotted by a couple of the kids and said, "Oh, look, there's Mike Trout's helmet."
And there it is right now. The magic of TV.
Trout hits one toward the right field line, falling quickly, a foul ball. Those kids amazed by just even the sight of anything that belonged to Mike Trout before the game today. And now this kid gets an autographed baseball. As Trout always signs autographs before games. He is as accessible of a superstar as there's ever been in this game. Stops to take a picture. I mean, it is incredible to see it day in and day out how often Mike Trout will sign for the kids around the field.
And then immediately be able to focus on what he's going to do in the batter's box. Whether it's home or on the road, it's incredible what he does.
Well, people love him. He is a very appreciated star around this franchise and around the league. Lopez just missed the outside corner with a slider. There's another breaking ball that Trout fouls off, and it's still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, yesterday was a rare occurrence that both Mike Trout and Byron Buxton played in the same game against each other. Between the two having injury concerns over the last few seasons, they've rarely been on the field together in games where the Angels have played the Twins. Now again today, no Buxton in there. Trout was not in the lineup on Friday.
No better swing at that one for Trout. 91 career home runs in the first inning for a pitcher that's given up 3 home runs in the first inning this season.
The guy brought his glove to the game, and that ball was right to him, and he dropped it. And just slammed his glove on the ground. It's not going to do him any good now. That was your chance.
It is the glove's fault.
Trout with the ground ball, base hit in the left center field. Good at bat. Gallo gets it in as Mike Trout has the Angels' first hit today. It's a one-out single. The batter now, today's starting pitcher for the Angels, Shohei Ohtani, and he has been just crushing the ball on the days he has pitched this year, hitting .444. He's been one hit shy of the cycle twice in his starts, and he had a long home run in his last start against the Orioles.
Yeah, I mean, this year really, especially on the days he pitched. Before that, it's touch and go for him, but he has crushed the baseball on days he's on the mound.
He loops this ball towards shallow center field. Late start for Willie Castro, and that's a base hit.
Well, another hit on the day he starts. Well, he's on his way to the cycle now. He's got the single out of the way. I mean, he leads the team in home runs, RBIs, extra base hits, and, by the way, in wins on the mound.
And strikeouts and so on.
It's unreal. And stolen bases. I forgot to mention that.
Yes,
one too.
that too.
Yeah.
So the Angels have the table set. Back-to-back singles from Trout and Ohtani. And here's Hunter Renfroe, who has obliterated the ball himself here at Angel Stadium. He's had 5 hits already in this series. Cuts through that sinker from Pablo Lopez at 97 miles an hour.
Very important here to be able to get that run across or two in this inning, especially for a guy that struggles in the first before he can settle down. Give some breathing room for Shohei Ohtani on the mound. And Shohei's been on the bases a lot. We saw those numbers when he's been pitching. He'd prefer to be able to jog around the bases and see if Renfroe can get a hold of one.
Renfroe's hit 10 home runs. 9 of them have been in this ballpark this year. Renfroe stays alive on a good 0-2 pitch. MLB.com did a list of the top 10 off-season additions, and I'm scrolling down the list. I get 1 through 8, and I see Joey Gallo number 8, and I said, well, Hunter Renfroe better be on this list when I get to the bottom of it, and he was. He was number 10, but he has been a big off-season addition for this team, and certainly one of the top 10 off-season additions for any team around Major League Baseball. It's this one hard, but foul.
Besides hitting the ball hard like that, he's made a couple game-saving defensive plays and throws already out in right field this season for the Angels.
Well, that throw against Baltimore on Thursday was mind-blowing.
That was a game saver. You have a leadoff double with a 1-run lead. That's a tough one to be able to hold out and be able to maintain the lead, but that throw was huge.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, Pablo Lopez has had first inning troubles this year. The Angels trying to add to that. Opponents have hit .395 against him in the first inning. 181 in the second inning on. Two balls, 2 strikes now on Renfroe.
And you know that as a pitcher, your struggles in an inning, especially a first inning, and so you're hoping to get one of those borderline pitches that they were off the plate, but sometimes you get them. Good take there for Renfroe. Might be forced to drive one to right center here because he's staying away with that breaking ball.
He lays off, and it's a full count. So Lopez was ahead 0-2. Renfroe got to fouling some pitches off. Now he's worked a full count.
Great speed on the bases. Don't think they're going here, though.
Ryan Jeffers, not a very good throwing catcher behind the plate for Minnesota. Renfroe strikes out on a 3-2 fastball. Long at bat, and it ends with Lopez just challenging Renfroe.
They have a number of secondary pitches, and that's almost right in his zone. He just pulled off, and you see the frustration for Hunter because he got his pitch, just pulled off and enough to get a swing and miss.
So now Jared Walsh looking for his first hit. Returned to the lineup yesterday and was 0 for 4, though he did have an RBI. Takes a strike on that sinker from Lopez. Lefties have done a lot better against Pablo Lopez than right-handers have. Let's see if Jared Walsh can give the Angels the early lead behind Shohei. works through the high fastball, and it's 0-2. Walsh hit the ball well at AAA. Had a very good spring, too, before realizing that he just couldn't continue forward into the season, experiencing the symptoms that he was with regard to the headaches and the insomnia and just the lack of awareness of where he was.
Got a lot of room on that left side of the infield, though. If he can hit a ball on the ground, he's going to drive in a run.
He swings and misses on a ball in the dirt, and Pablo Lopez works through the first couple of hits, but 3 strikeouts.
An overhaul this morning for the Halos bullpen, if you will. Aaron Loup was reinstated from the IL. Andrew Wance, Jimmy Herget optioned. Reyes Marunta and Jacob Webb are now here. And the reason for these moves is kind of twofold. Yes, they needed some fresh arms after the usage last night, but also the Halos are in desperate need of getting a bridge to guys like Matt Moore and Carlos Estevez. Now, Jacob Webb and Reyes Marunta come with championship experience. Webb pitched for the Braves in 2021 when they won the World Series. Marunta with the Giants. Phil Nevin very familiar with him. He's pitched on winning teams too. So it's just to have a different look. Guys that have been there, done that before, pitching in different roles. But when Esty, Matt Moore, Chris Davinsky, when they're down, these guys, they have pitched in different roles, and we feel comfortable going to them. Also of note, Jacob Webb, Riverside native, so this is coming home for him. He prioritized signing close to home with the Halos. Got a bunch of friends and family in attendance today. That'll trickle up as the week goes on, but a new look for the Halos bullpen.
Ryan, I think it needed to be done too. I mean, there's some things you just want to clean up. You know, the guys that were sent down, they'll just get it right. They've been successful in the past themselves, but that's a good decision to make. Look, Webb was really good in spring training too.
Well, it's been no secret that the Angels have had trouble trusting certain relievers in big spots. There's been high leverage moments that have not gone the Angels' way, and they've tried to use different types of pitchers in those roles. Swing and a miss by Julian, but you can't just have 2 guys you rely on, or maybe Davinsky's turning into a third, but you need to have a whole roster full of relievers that you can rely on in pretty much any moment. So the Angels will try something different now with Reyes Marunta joining the roster along with Jacob Webb, and the reinstatement of Aaron Loup coming from the injured list.
I mean, you think about how many good teams there are right now in the American League. When you get those leads, whether it's early in the game or late in the game, you got to find a way to get those big outs and maintain the lead and win those games. So many good teams in the American League.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Edward Julian. And the American League is not child's play right now. This is a league where you're going to have to bring it just about every day to challenge for a playoff spot, whether that's in the AL West division title race or just in the wild cards in general, especially with how stacked the American League East is. And we'll see a team from the American League East tomorrow. The Boston Red Sox will be here for a 3-game series. So you can't afford to lose too many games that you have leads in, that you feel like you should win. And the Angels are trying to bolster that bullpen. There's ball 4 to Julian, and a leadoff walk for the 2nd straight inning from Ohtani.
Yeah, we heard the conversation with Julian. He's very patient at the plate, even though he was behind early, 1-2 there. He didn't go after any of those pitches from Shohei.
Here's Kyle Farmer.
He swings at the first pitch a lot, and a lot of hitters swing at the first pitch against Shohei, so maybe get another ground ball and an infielder for 2.
Farmer's had a good series. He's been playing well since coming back from the injured list. Took a Lucas Giolito fastball to the face in the early part of the season. Needed all kinds of dental work done. He's feeling good now, and he has hit the ball well, batting .395 in the 10 games since he's come back. It's a good sweeper from Ohtani. He gets ahead of Farmer, 0-2.
Yeah, we get a good view of his at the plate for Farmer. That bottom hand on the bat tries to keep it as loose as possible. But that's exactly what we showed the good sweeper in our opening today, off the plate.
Farmer chased after that and fouled it off.
But that's one of those ones. It's a flatter break so you could foul it off, because that's that lateral break to it, to the barrel of the bat. Even though it was off the plate, it allowed him to foul it off. If it goes down, that's not going to be the case.
Farmer looked like he was ready to chase that wherever it went. He just was able to touch it. This time he can't lay off, and it's strike 3. That ball ended up in the left-handed batter's box, and Farmer unable to hold his swing as Shohei gets his second strikeout.
And if you notice, Chad Wallach was going to make sure that he had that target set and was down. It was not going to miss it, elevate it where he could foul it off or punch it into play. Great target by Chad. Wallach behind the place and executed perfectly by Ohtani.
That brings up Larnach with Julian at first and 1 out. Fastball right in there at 98 from Shohei.
One of the few four-seamers. He's been throwing a lot of sinkers today. They've been about 84, 85 range.
Snap throw to first by Wallach as Edouard Julien goes back diving in. There's Julien at first, kid from Quebec City who walked 110 times in the minor leagues a couple of years ago and 98 times last year. That's a lot of walks. Larnach flipping one towards shallow left. Out goes Neto, and he makes the running catch.
Well, he is so confident and comfortable going back on pop-ups. The angle he takes, really, really solid. Where he's playing to where he goes for this one also, you would think it's closer to Urshela, but it's a harder play going back on him as compared to that angle that Neto was able to run it down with.
After that over-the-shoulder, behind-the-back catch that he made in Baltimore, you feel like he can pretty much catch any pop-up at this point.
And that sliding one he got for a double play.
Yeah, that was
been unreal.
It was a pretty wonderful play as well. There's a strike to Willie Castro. 97 on the outer edge from Ohtani. Castro has an 11-game hitting streak going against the Angels with 1 hit in each of those games.
And all the guys in the line, that's a sweeper down and in. He's able to go in another wild pitch. It's the 9th wild pitch this season for Shohei.
That's the most in the major leagues. Wallach had no chance there, especially with the batters swinging at it. But think about where this ball lands, and Castro swung at it.
That's how much of a break. That is well in front of the plate. That doesn't happen all that often. But he's the one hitter when you look in this lineup. It's had a little bit of success against Shohei. 2 for 7 with a home run. So he's eager to try to catch that sweeper.
That pitch was up enough for Castro to foul it off, but certainly seems like Castro is just hacking away right now.
So that tells you as a pitcher that I had to throw a non-strike, even if it takes 2 or 3 to get there.
Went to the fastball to see if Castro would go after that.
I like that pitch there. Most times I'm not a big fan of that high fastball, but on that occasion it's perfect because now you got an opportunity secondary.
And now 2 balls and 2 strikes on Willie Castro.
He's left a few of those splitters upstairs so far. That's a field pitch for him, obviously.
Let's see what he calls for himself here. Remember, he's calling his own game. On 2-2 to Castro. Swing and a high fly deep down the right field line to the corner. It's hooking foul and out of play.
That's that dangerous zone, though, against a left-handed batter. That sweeper, that's into that swing path for a lefty swinging.
He's trying to bounce it because Castro has been so aggressive in this at bat. If he does bounce one, he'll get strike 3 most likely. Swing and a miss. Went to the cutter away. Castro strikes out. Ohtani's fan 3 in the first 2 innings. Fans, visit Angels.com/auctions, the official source for game-used Angels memorabilia. Bid on exclusive items like hats, baseballs, jerseys, and more by visiting Angels.com/auctions today. Gio Urshela leads off the bottom of the 2nd against Pablo Lopez and takes ball 1. All the Little League kids here before the game today parading around the field. Quite a sight. A lot of them wearing a representation of a major league team's jersey as Urshela bloops one to center. Easy for Castro. Well, that's the best when you get to wear a big league team's uniform on your Little League jersey.
I was getting a chance to talk to a few of them, and I said, you have no idea how cool that was. You know, to do what you're doing. Never had that chance as a youngster. It would have been awesome to walk on a major league field.
Yeah, really.
Same field where Trout and Ohtani are walking around and performing on a daily basis.
That kid there in a White Sox jersey. Saw some kids in Mariners jerseys wearing with the trident. Got a throwback jersey on the Little League guys. Luis Rengifo looks at a curveball strike from Pablo Lopez. Hasn't been a lot of consistency for Rengifo in terms of his offense. They're not playing every day.
Yeah, you can tell even by that swing on that changeup, his timing off a bit because that was well out of the strike zone. But you just want to stay back, read the pitch a little bit longer. When you play more, you do have that timing.
Did have a 3-hit game against the Orioles on Thursday. There have been some good moments for Rengifo this year. Well, Phil Nevins made sure to get him in the lineup 2 or 3 days a week at least. He hasn't really been sitting a lot, just not consistently in the lineup. Bounces this one to the right side, ranging over Solano from the outfield grass, throws out Rengifo.
And now with Jared Walsh back in there, more flexibility in the infield for Phil Nevin as far as getting guys off their feet for a day, but also trying to keep everyone their timing together as much as possible.
Well, Walsh is back, but Anthony Rendon is not. Once Rendon returns, the Angels are hoping that sooner than later, and then they'll have their full assortment of infielders to use, and that's when really the mixing and matching will occur for Phil Nevin on how to get Urshela in there most days. Rengifo, some at bats, Drury. If Rendon's going to be at third and Neto's at short and Walsh is at first, you really have to be creative about how to get guys days off and how to get the other guys in the lineup and working that rotation through second base.
Yeah, because you don't have that option of the DH role for any of them because you have an incredible DH in Shohei Ohtani. I'd like to see Chad Wallach get back to that swing, when that power swing, when he hits the ball hard to right center field. That is when he's on his game. Might get that pitch now, especially on a 2-0 count, to drive that way.
Facing Pablo Lopez, who the Minnesota Twins have invested in. Wallach lines one, and it's caught by the third baseman Farmer. Quick move to his left to retire Wallach. 1-2-3 for Lopez.
And Shohei Ohtani so far in the game has 3 strikeouts, but 2 with his cutter. He's been able to go back door and getting some odd swings. Usually you think of it as cutter about 89, 90. He's been around 87. Coming into the game, 2 career strikeouts on the cutter. 0 so far this season, but 2 today. The creative one using his cutter. Cut like a knife so far.
3 strikeouts in the first 2 innings for Shohei Ohtani. He's worked around a couple of leadoff walks. And now Donovan Solano starts the third. Solano, then the catcher Jeffers, then back to the top of the order with Gallo. There's a good breaking ball for a strike from Shohei. The Twins experiencing some injury issues now with Buxton out of the lineup today. They just put both Nick Gordon and Jorge Polanco on the IL. Slow roller up the middle. Neto ranges over, gets to it, fires a strike to first.
I just love how he gets to the baseball and how he put himself in good throwing position, how quick that transfer is, and gets a lot on that throw from that arm angle. That's one of those tough ones too, because it stays low. You don't know if you're going to get any kind of a hop on it, but it's still in good throwing position and a firm throw to first base.
He is a good shortstop. He has really changed the way for this Angels infield. That's the most important position of the infield, to have a good defender, especially now without the shift.
Yeah, you got to be athletic enough to be able to cover a lot of ground, and a strong enough arm, because you're going to play in the hole sometimes a little bit more.
1 ball, 1 strike on Ryan Jeffers, the number 9 batter and catcher for the Twins.
It's one of those sweepers, Wayne, where he got away with that one. See how quickly he makes that adjustment for Ohtani.
Bat goes flying. Walsh catches that pop-up. The bat hit the screen over the Angels dugout and fell into Tim Buss's hands.
Of course he would make that play. What a great pitch this was, by the way. fastball sinker right in on his hands. Jeffers has no idea where that baseball is even going.
He popped out, didn't realize it. And Jared Walsh catching that soft blooping pop-up off the bat of Jeffers.
But what a good sequence. That sweeper there got a little bit of the plate more than he wanted. Pops it up, and then he runs a sinker right in on the handle of the bat.
Here's Joey Gallo. That one goes to the backstop from Ohtani. Gallo walked his first time.
Really had a tough time with his splitter. That's another one of those elevated splitters for Shohei. You know he's going to get a feel for that at some point. Otherwise, you might start seeing him throw his curveball. So 8 times he's thrown his splitter, not once for a strikeout for Ohtani.
2 balls, no strikes on Gallo. Gallo has only had 1 plate appearance in this series that has not ended with a walk, a strikeout, or a home run. And this one looking like a walk as Ohtani gets behind. 3 balls, no strikes.
So another cutter from Ohtani here. Gallo, a very good eye, but on 3-0 count, he's going to be swinging hard if it's near the strike zone.
It's in there. It's a cutter. 3 balls, 1 strike now on Gallo with tons of power. Homered last night. He has found his swing since becoming a Minnesota Twin. Lost it there for a while, especially with the Yankees.
Another cutter.
Well, all the 3 true outcomes are back on the table again. It's 3-0. Now it's 3-2. Walk, strikeout, or homer. Take your pick. Sure, we know what Ohtani wants. On 3-2 to Gallo. A rip foul.
He was pretty quick on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Now this would be the perfect time to throw your best splitter of the afternoon.
It's ball 4 on the cutter, so Gallo draws his second walk today. And that'll bring up Carlos Correa. Ohtani's walked 3. Had some issues with the bases on balls in his early starts this year. This is the first time that he's walked 3 in a game since April 11th. Remember, he had 12 walks in his first 3 starts. There's a strike to Correa. Not been any hits so far for Minnesota, and not many hits against Ohtani, period, so far this year. He's allowed just 26 hits in 55 2/3 innings. 8 of them have been home runs.
So he's going a sinker and a 4-seamer so far. So Correa got him to hit a ground ball double play his first at bat.
There's a good sweeper, and Correa chased for strike 2. It does seem that he's thrown the sweeper a little bit less today, but more effectively, especially to right-handers early on. Correa loops this one toward the gap in right center field. Long run. Renfroe won't get there, and it goes by him all the way to the wall. Gallo's around third. He's going to score, and Carlos Correa on a 2-strike pitch gives Minnesota a 1-0 lead here in the 3rd inning.
That was another sweeper, but it got the strike zone. Exactly what it went to. We showed in the opening. The good one, the pitch before, and this one in the strike zone. And it stayed up, and he's really good going the other way. Gallo, for a big guy, can run well, easily scores the first run of the game.
The second time through the order, Blues continuing for Shohei. Second time through here, walking Gallo with 2 outs and allowing the double to Correa. So the Twins have the lead, and here's Kirilloff, who struck out his first time. Swing and a miss on the fastball. The OPS allowed for Ohtani the first time through the order this year, 392. The second time, 992. And then the third time, it's 339. So we've seen this pattern of Ohtani looking sharp early, the hitters adjusting, and then Shohei readjusting to that.
That's when he starts going with a little different sequences of pitches. It's an important batter right here. Lopez is throwing the ball really well early on here. That walk, the 2-out walk, comes around to score.
Kirilloff just gets a piece at home plate, and it's still no balls, 2 strikes.
And that was a better splitter there.
Soft roller to first. Jared Walsh handles it and beats Kirilloff to end the inning. 2-out double gives Minnesota a 1-0 lead. Minnesota has the 1-0 lead on a 2-out RBI double from Carlos Correa. Now Pablo Lopez takes the mound with the lead here as Zach Neto leads off, followed by Moniak and Trout. First pitch strike from Pablo Lopez, who the Twins traded for in the offseason, sending Luis Arraez to the Miami Marlins. They knew they were giving up something to get something. Well, Arraez certainly a successful hitter. He has continued to get a lot of base hits since joining the Marlins, but Minnesota wanted to fortify their starting rotation, so they gave up Arraez from a position of strength. They thought they would still hit without him. And Pablo Lopez has become their number 2 starter behind their ace Sonny Gray, and adding in what Joe Ryan did in his rookie year coming into this season. They love Pablo Lopez.
He's got 69 strikeouts already this season. His 56 innings pitched.
Lopez near the league leaders in that category. Two balls, 2 strikes on Neto.
Really balanced delivery though for Lopez too. He's under control. That allows him to throw all his pitches. And that's why he's been so effective in the strike zone too. Not many walks.
That's in there. Strike 3 called right on the edge of the outside corner. As Neto strikes out, that's the 4th for Lopez. 1 away, and our blue moon bright spot has been the success of Mickey Moniak.
I like what I've seen throughout the stint back here with the Angels after really hitting the ball well in Salt Lake and excellent in spring training. He's using the whole field. He's allowing the baseball to get a little bit deeper. He's not jumping out in front early.
Swings at the first pitch here and flies to Willie Castro for the 2nd out. So Pablo Lopez has retired 7 in a row, and now he'll face Mike Trout.
And ideally, you think maybe Trout could jump on a first pitch here, but after that quick out there, you want to make sure you maybe work some count here a little bit with Shohei Ohtani on deck and on the mound today.
It's an interesting spot to bat in that instance. After 2 quick outs, fairly long top of the 3rd. You know, you want to give your starting pitcher a moment, but as Trout takes a strike, you know, he's also under the realization that the starting pitcher's on deck. And he might bat here if Trout gets on.
It's already the 2nd time to get a chance to see Lopez. Not many at bats for anybody in the lineup. Renfroe's with 1 for 6, now 1 for 7 against him. And Brandon Drury's the only other batter that's faced him. He's not in the lineup here today. So the 2nd time through, more important for the hitters to be successful against Lopez.
Lopez coming from the Marlins, team that signed him, or traded for him, I should say, back in 2017. He was originally signed by Seattle. He'll be a Twin for a while. They give him a 4-year contract extension that begins next season. And they locked him up for $73 million starting next year. He's a fascinating guy. His parents were doctors. Pablo was actually accepted into medical school when he was 16 years old. Trout swings and misses. The ball goes behind home plate. Trout heads to first and makes it. So a strikeout wild pitch, maybe a pass ball. Either way, Trout's on board with Shohei coming up.
I feel like that has a good chance of being a pass ball now. We threw him a changeup. It was a really good changeup, and he just didn't frame that baseball all that well. Turned the glove the other way. It's tough to be able to catch that with that late movement on his changeup.
Here's Shohei. Base hit his first time. Homered last night. Homered in his last start. As Lopez starts him with a strike. Ohtani has just crushed the ball lately, especially on the days he's been pitching. Trying to help himself against Pablo Lopez. And it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Shohei's already had 3 3-hit games in days that he has pitched. And since 1961, that's tied for the most in the major leagues with some other good hitting pitchers, including Carlos Zambrano. There's a grounder handled by Kirilloff with a dive. It was hit hard, but Kirilloff makes a nice play to end the inning.
And the Twins up 1-0 on the Angels and Shohei Ohtani. That last inning, Correa got a hit, a double on that sweeper. And you look at the hits allowed, the horizontal break. Sometimes you think that's what you want to see, but he's having more horizontal break on the hits allowed as compared to the strikeouts. And you look at the last 2 pitches against Correa, the good one, less horizontal break, and the swing. He hits at the plate, sharp, swings out of the zone. But then the very next one gets more of the plate, drops just a little bit enough, that horizontal break, more on it, flatter to the barrel of the bat.
And Shohei taking his warm-up tosses. We see the break on those pitches. You know, what can he do to maintain some consistency with that pitch?
I mean, I think part of it is when he's got on the sweeper, he's going to try to get on the baseball like this to be able to have that break to it. But when he got on that one with more horizontal break, the fingers drop down and he got more of this kind of break to it. You want that break to be down like this on the good one, so you stay on top of the baseball a little bit more. You get around the baseball, that's flattened out, that more horizontal break to the barrel of the bat.
We'll see if Shohei can make that adjustment. It's been a few starts now where this has been an issue for him. It's been a little bit better today, but still that double by Carlos Correa stands out as the only run so far in this game. And Minnesota's got the lead as Edouard Julien stands in against Ohtani.
Again, he's so creative. We know how he's such a great thinker on the mound, and this great stuff for Shohei Ohtani. He'll be able to figure that out. Just get on top of that baseball just a fraction. Could be a big difference maker for him.
1 ball, 1 strike on Julien, who's from Canada. He's from Quebec City. A funny story, Justin Morneau has his own Canadian background, told us about Julien before the game today. Good pitch there by Shohei on the breaking ball, and it's 1-2. But Julien went to Auburn in Alabama, and he only spoke French, being from Quebec City. Couldn't speak English, so he learned English during his time at Auburn, and he learned it with kind of a southern drawl.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
So here's this French-Canadian kid walking around saying y'all and putting his southern twang on these English words that he now knows. He's trying to learn Spanish, too. He wants to be trilingual.
He's really patient. We heard that, too. Doesn't chase a lot now already. He's got to walk, and I don't know how you lay off. That was a real good sweeper there.
Mentioned the 98 walks he had at AA last year and 110 in A-ball the year before that. So he is very patient. Edouard Julien with a 3-2 count against Ohtani. And it's swing and miss for strike 3.
Another strikeout on a cutter. That's 3 strikeouts on his cutter. He had 0 coming into game 2 in his career. Doesn't really even have a high percentage of whiff on his cutter, coming in at 19.1%. All the other pitches are 30 plus, including the splitter at almost 46%.
That's strikeout number 4 for Ohtani today. Kevin Gausman, the American League leader in strikeouts, entered today with 77, and he had 4. So Ohtani right now is 6 strikeouts behind Gausman for the American League lead. Only 3 Angel pitchers have ever led the AL in strikeouts. Nolan Ryan did it a lot. Frank Tanana and Jared Weaver.
And going on a 6-man rotation, you always have a few less starts and a few less innings pitched to do that.
And if he racks up the Ks here moving forward today, he could be right there with Gausman for the league lead.
By the way, Kirilloff made a real nice play on that baseball. Otherwise, he's got a double or triple. That ball was hit hard. His last at bat would have been his second hit of the game.
1 ball, 2 strikes. It was 97 miles an hour off the bat of Ohtani. And there's 97 miles an hour blown by Kyle Farmer. Strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Shohei.
That was on his 4-seam fastball. Starting to pick up more and more strikeouts on his fastballs. Can you imagine trying to see that, read that after dealing with all kinds of different breaking pitches, and it's right on you. 97, 4-seamer.
There's a strike at the bottom of the zone to Trevor Larnach. About 97 off the bat. Come back in the next inning and get 97 on the mound with a strikeout.
Again, he is the spectacular one.
Wave and a miss on the sweeper. You seeing that pitch moving more effectively here?
Yeah, because he's getting on top and a little bit better on as far as the release point on a sweeper.
One ball, 2 strikes.
Even that one had some bite to it too. It's not as much horizontal break. It's more vertical too, and that's what you want to see. It avoids the, being flat and going to the barrel of the bat. This would be towards the handle on that downward action.
Larnach drives one toward the left field line. Moving back toward the corner, Moniak gets to it and makes the catch. Ending a 1-2-3 top of the 4th for Shohei Ohtani. 888-796-HALO to buy the ticket package that's best for you. Pick the games you want. Don't miss out on great seats at the best price. Visit angels.com/ticket plans or call 888-796-HALO. I'm eating some ice cream, which is perfect because Crimley just had all their ice creams racing around on the video board in between innings, and the soft serve swirl was the winner. Beat the ice cream bar and the little ice cream ball that they have.
Are they running that up here now?
Well, that's what I thought. I thought maybe we were due.
How you're working it.
We were due for a delivery. We'll take it in the helmet too. We're not going to be picky about how we get our Crimley up here.
5 hits in the series for Renfroe. You're still waiting for that one power swing where he has 9 of his 10 home runs here.
Hunter Renfroe looks at a strike from Pablo Lopez. We talked about Edward Julian trying to be trilingual. Lopez speaks 4 languages. He speaks Italian and Portuguese. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Renfroe.
I don't know about you, Wayne, but I'm just still trying to work on one.
I hear you. Missed a little bit high, I guess. Looked like a pretty good pitch. And Jeremy Riggs called it ball 2. So Renfroe catches a break, stays in the box. Now it's a full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
I don't know, what was that yesterday against Zach Neto? A pitch down the heart of the plate, called a ball, and then he went down the left field line. See if he can get a pitch to drive right here. Could be a changeup.
Bouncing ball past Kirilloff into right field. A base hit. And the Angels have their leadoff man on. Renfroe, a well-struck ball the other way.
That's a really good approach there. He's trying to get that baseball deep, trying to make some contact. It's a 4-seam fastball. Goes the other way with it. He's got to hold your breath. Kirilloff's made some really good plays over there, first base, including the one against Shohei. Third hit of the day, 3 singles versus Lopez.
Walsh hits one into right field. That's a base hit. Renfroe had to make sure not to get knocked by that ball, but he still ends up at third. Jared Walsh has his first hit back. A big clap at first base for Walsh. He's excited, and the Angels have a rally. Runners on the corners with nobody out.
Love that reaction from Walshy here. Gets that barrel of the bat and just rockets it by. More so, Renfroe avoids the line drive and then easily goes first to third. Opportunity to be able to tie this up, if not take the lead in this inning, but a good swing. Congrats to Jared Walsh, that first hit of the season.
You could see the excitement in Walsh when he got to first, clapped his hands hard, and then saluted the dugout as well. Renfroe ends up at third. The Angels have something going with Urshela at the plate, trying to at least tie the game here. Urshela hits one toward left center field. Castro moves over, makes the catch, tagging from third Renfroe. Castro's throw to the plate on the way, cut off by Kirilloff. Throw to first in time to double up Walsh, as Renfroe does score the tying run. And Walsh thought about taking second base on that throw coming in, and he got too far away from first as Solano went in behind him.
That was
tagged him out.
That was a great defensive play by the Twins on that one. And he was anticipating maybe that going over the cutoff man's head, but Solano comes right behind him, that back throw, and gets him at first base. Nice job though by Urshela getting the run home. Just like that though, you take away a potential big inning and less pitches thrown for Lopez.
So 2 outs.
But I get what he was thinking. I thought he was thinking it was going to be over the head of the cutoff man, but quickly gets and fires it to first, be able to double him up. RBI number 19 for Gio Urshela.
Hard hit ball, and a base hit for Rengifo. Past a diving reach of Carlos Correa.
So some baseballs have been hit hard in this inning. You've seen this throughout the series. Carlos Correa is about as close as you can be to that second base bag where you're going to be in violation of the shift rule.
Here's Chad Wallach, line to third his first time.
And Solano's right at that base too. As long as you're on the second base side of the bag, he's pretty close.
I've not seen a violation of that type of play this year. I don't think in any game, let alone the ones we've had. The Angels have a run on 3 hits here in the fourth against Lopez. They've tied the game.
One career pickoff for Lopez.
Wonder if Rengifo might run here. He's not. Wallach waves and misses, and it's 0-2.
Especially now, you think with an 0-2 count, anticipating maybe a break a ball, potentially bounce it or change up. Not a bad idea to go 0-2. He's got 4 stolen bases in 5 attempts.
Now 1 ball, 2 strikes. This should be a good combination to run against with Jeffers. Catcher doesn't throw very well behind the plate. Rengifo is running, but Wallach strikes out to end the inning. Angels tie it up, a run on 3 hits to make it 1-1. Shohei on the mound for the top of the 5th inning in our Kia player profile, as Ohtani continues to be outstanding here at Angel Stadium. As far as lowest opponent's average at home, going all the way back to 1945. Just Freddie Peralta with the Brewers and the late Jose Fernandez have been better than Shohei Ohtani.
Great to see Sid Fernandez on the list.
Yeah, how about Sid? Spent most of his career with the New York Mets.
Ride that high fastball, that disappearing fastball that we talk a lot about now in baseball. 4-seamer upstairs.
And Nolan Ryan on that list, who, of course, had this as his home ballpark for a while, but had a few different home ballparks over the years, too. Maintained that wherever he went. Here's Willie Castro leading off the 5th.
And retired numbers like in 1,000 different ballparks, too, for Nolan Ryan. Yeah, that number 30 everywhere.
The Astros, the Angels, and the Texas Rangers, where he wore number 34. Castro loops one to left and has a base hit. Another hit against the Angels for Willie Castro. He's had one in each of the last 12 games he has played against them. And he's on to start the 5th inning. Just the 2nd hit allowed by Ohtani today.
3 for 9 now in his career against Shohei. Wasn't hit well, but placed well.
And I'll bring up Donovan Solano, grounded out to short his first time. Solano's brother, Jonathan Solano, used to be a big leaguer too, was a big league catcher. And Ohtani flips in a strike to start off the at-bat for Donovan Solano. Bottom of the order here. Jeffers, the number 9 hitter, next. Then it's back to Gallo in the top. Ohtani has thrown 74 pitches. He's in the 5th. Let's see if he can efficiently work himself through for the next couple of innings before we see some of that revamped Angels bullpen with the additions that we talked about earlier. Reyes Maranta, Jacob Webb joining the big league roster. Aaron Loup off the IL today. We don't really know who the starting pitcher is tomorrow. Angels have TBD listed against the Red Sox. Could be Chase Silseth, or it could be Jaime Barria. There's a good pitch from Ohtani to make it 2-2. But if they are leaning Barria, well, possible then that Silseth could be available in the bullpen too. We're not sure.
That power arm out of the bullpen. Solano so far this season, though, pretty good middle up on pitches. So trying to get him to chase them down and away.
It's this ball toward the right field line. That's going to reach the seats out of play.
Nice crowds this whole weekend.
35,000 plus last night, 31,000 Friday, and we'll be in that neighborhood around 35,000 again today, maybe more. Beautiful day. Shohei on the mound. How could you not be here today? This is as good as it gets. Chopper to third, backhand Urshela, throws off balance to second one, Rengifo to first, 2, a double play. Beautifully turned and started by Urshela.
That's an incredible play. That is a tough in-between hop to be able to get that and quickly throw it to second on the transfer. And a perfect feed off balance. 5-4-3 double play. What a play by Urshela. Look how tough that hop is and how confident he was getting that baseball in a quick throw. A double play. Second double play turn behind Shohei. Very appreciative of that defense by Urshela, who tied the game up with a sac fly.
Urshela's always been a strong third baseman, but you're right, on a tough hop, just the way that he attacked that ball, he knew he was going to catch it.
So often you see a guy on the backhand like that, that ball gets away and ends up being down the line.
Now Jeffers gets hit by a pitch. Ohtani has led the major leagues with 8 hit batsmen this year. It's the number 9 batter who takes one in the back and hits to first. So here's Gallo, who has walked in his first 2 plate appearances today, scored on Correa's double his last time. Swing and a miss on the fastball. We are in the 3rd time through the order now for Minnesota, and this is when Shohei has been at his best this year, the 3rd time around.
And it's .096 batting average against him.
5 for 52. Wave and a miss on the splitter.
Good sequence. 4-seamer at 98, splitter at 91.
Really uses that as sort of a changeup to left-handed batters, and a powerful one at the plate here in Gallo. Swing and a miss, strike 3. That time a sinker. Ohtani punches out Joey Gallo. His 6th strikeout gets him through the top of the 5th. This game still tied at 1. All tied as we enter the bottom of the 5th at Angels Stadium. Shohei Ohtani's only given up 2 hits through 5 innings. And we see Zach Neto lead off the bottom of the 5th against Pablo Lopez. Followed by Moniak and Trout. The Angels scored in the 4th on back-to-back hits from Renfroe and Walsh. Then Urshela with a sac fly tied it up. Good breaking ball there. The slider, sweeper, whatever from Pablo Lopez.
Had 14 strikeouts with that pitch coming into the game. Whiff percentage over 39%. Comes back with another one. More of a curveball on that one.
One thing to throw a couple of different sliders and say that one's a sweeper, one's more of a harder traditional slider. Lopez just throws the one. That time a fastball to make it 2-2.
This one will shorten up now. Timeout called by Zach Neto.
Once that second strike goes on, we often see hitters call timeout. Sometimes on 0-2, 3-2. Really, it's whenever that second strike comes in. And hitters take that step out, recollect themselves.
It's a big pitch now for Neto. Find a way to get on base, especially with the top of the order coming up. You see many walks from Lopez.
There's ball 4. So Zach Neto hasn't drawn many walks. Gets one here. Leadoff man on, and with good speed for the Halos in front of the top of the order.
Let's go back and take a look at that incredible double play turn by Gio Urshela. It's our T-Mobile coverage cam. That tough hop. How quickly on the transfer gets the ball to Rengifo. 5-4-3. Excellent. Approved by Shohei Ohtani. That is a difficult hop. Made look easy by Urshela.
Really was a very good play. Now Mickey Moniak looks at a first pitch curve from Pablo Lopez.
Even though earlier today, a number of hitters were out early working on bunting, I don't think this is going to be a bunt time for Moniak. It would be more for a hit.
Moniak seemed out in front of that fastball, 95 miles an hour from Pablo Lopez. The Angels do not have a sacrifice bunt this year. With a strange time to call for one with Jared Walsh at the plate yesterday. And Walsh unable to get that bunt down. Moniak can't help his swing there as Pablo Lopez gets another strikeout. So one away. It brings up Mike Trout today. A significant anniversary for Mike Trout. 10 years ago today, he became the youngest player in the history of the American League to hit for the cycle. That's a record that still stands. He was 21 years old, 288 days, 6th Angel to hit for the cycle.
How about that home run swing, that pitch there? He needed a home run on his last at bat, and he hits that at right center. It was well below the strike zone.
He was just an absolute sensation at a young age, getting to the major leagues and dominating the way that he did in those first couple of years. Now 31 years old and still in the prime of his career, having a nice start to the season.
Already 20 extra base hits, 10 home runs, 10 doubles.
Focusing on his body and his health a little bit more as he gets into his 30s. Neto's running. Trout takes a pitch, throw to second, and it is not in time. Zach Neto has a stolen base.
Yeah, he had a running start. And Trout confident enough to let that pitch go, too. You see that. He's going on that movement. It easily slides in there. It's just a matter of being able to keep the foot on that bigger base at second.
Second stolen base for Zach Neto in his major league career. Trout had a good cut.
Neto moving around. He was thinking about going to third base, but you're in scoring position here for Trout. You want to stay still out there at second. Get your lead, your secondary lead, and establish it and stay there. Don't want to be a distraction to at Trout at the plate, especially from that arm angle that Lopez throws from.
Go ahead run in scoring position. And Trout had another good cut. He has taken some good cuts today. Full count on Trout and Shohei Ohtani on deck.
Good battle here for Mike Trout's been on base twice last time on a strikeout. Advanced when the ball got away from Jeffers. Base hit at first at bat. Threw him a changeup. 3-2 count earlier.
On 3-2. Trout fouls one back. Seven pitches in this at bat. Most of them have come in with some gas to them. The last one, 97 from Pablo Lopez. This will be his 77th pitch of the day. Another 3-2 to Trout. It's driven toward the gap in left center field. Moving over is Gallo. He gets there and makes the catch. Holding at second base is Neto. Trout didn't hit it quite as hard as it looked off the bat, and still tried to punch it into the alley, and Joey Gallo tracked it down.
Just got it in on him enough. Not get quite the barrel. And I'm surprised with the open base here. Then you go after Shohei Ohtani, who's hit the ball hard twice, especially that last at bat.
Looks like Rocco Baldelli is holding up 4 fingers, so Shohei heads to first after an intentional walk.
There's a couple reasons why you would do that. One, Shohei Ohtani at the plate. Then you're also putting him on base too, and he's pitching today.
The Twins have now issued 11 intentional walks this year. They issued 5 in one game recently. So Rocco Baldelli not afraid of putting a man on if he doesn't want to face him. As we see, Ohtani heads to first, second time on base today after having 5 different times reaching base in his last start on the mound, something that hadn't been done in the big leagues in nearly 50 years. Pete Mackey's on the mound with the Twins infield, and the pitcher Lopez. Meanwhile, we'll hear from Hyundai.
Own every mile in the all-electric Hyundai Ioniq 5, 2023 Motor Trend SUV of the year.
And the intentional walk puts Ohtani on. Neto walked to start the inning. He stole a base too. Now Hunter Renfroe has had a half dozen hits already in this series, with a chance to give the Angels the lead. And that strike hits the outer edge.
Again, a lot of room on that right side of the infield. If he's pitching him away, what you got to do, especially how strong Renfroe is punch that ball that way.
Went the other way as last time. He doesn't mind that ball out away from him either. He likes to go to right and right center field. He can do so with power.
Real good on elevated fastballs and even breakables that are upstairs. Down the pitch, down and away off the plate. That breakable is a tough one for him, but upstairs he hits hard.
The runners go, and Renfroe fouls one off. Those would have been easy steals for Neto and Trout. As you said before, Neto's in scoring position already. Just needs a base hit from Renfroe to come home.
That was his pitch right there. He just got underneath that one.
Neto at second base. It's Ohtani at first on the other end of that double steal. And Renfroe cuts through the breaking ball to win the inning. Pablo Lopez works out of some trouble and still tied.
By pitch against Joey Gallo with all that power, 4-seam fastball followed up by a splitter, and then finishes him off with a sinker at 93. So far in the game, 6 strikeouts for Ohtani, 3 with his cutter, 1 with a sweeper, 1 4-seamer, and 1 sinker. So 4 different pitches today used by the creative one to get strikeouts, but 3 with his cutter, coming in 0 this season on his cutter.
Ohtani has struck out 6 in 5 innings. He has walked 3. He's hit a batter. He's at 83 pitches. I'm sure the Angels would like to get him into the 7th today. He's gone 7 innings each of his last 2 starts and 4 times total this year. It might take some extra pitches to get there if Ohtani has any trouble at all here in the 6th. His season high in pitches is 111. That was in his 2nd start against the Mariners on April 5th. We'll face the middle of the order here. Correa, the 2nd batter, then Kirilloff and Julian, 2, 3, and 4. Again, no Byron Buxton in there for Minnesota today. Correa's driven in the only Minnesota run, an RBI double in the 3rd. His 69th career RBI against the Angels for the former Houston Astro. And a first pitch strike from Ohtani.
Remember, you hit the double on a sweeper, came right back, the same pitch.
Yanked that one, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Correa, who signed about $850 million worth of contracts in the offseason. Only 1 stuck, though, the $200 he got from Minnesota. There's a good pitch on the outside corner. Good frame job, too, by Wallach. Might have helped get that strike. And now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. Correa strikes out on the 7th strikeout for Shohei Ohtani today. Well, we mentioned Chad Wallach with his framework on one of those pitches. It's a budding relationship, and Erica Weston has more.
Yeah, in his first game back last week, it was welcome back, you're catching Shohei Ohtani, but the two have gone pretty comfortable with one another. I asked Chad about that sweeper, the one that he's been having issues with. I know Gooby talked about it a little bit. It's just a setup thing. Really small adjustment. That's how good the pitch is and how he throws it so often. So that was something that he worked on in those 3rd, 4th innings up in Baltimore. He saw how good he got later in that ball game. It absolutely changed the dynamic of that pitch. So he was already making that adjustment in the middle of that start for his next time out.
Erica, does it seem like that Chad Wallach has that kind of relationship with Shohei that allows him to be able to say, listen, I think you might want to try to do that on certain pitches?
Well, I think he has the ability to do that, but again, it's Shohei's world. We're all just living in it. He's calling his own pitches, but of course, Chad is absolutely there to be a backup for sure.
There's a swing and a miss by Kirilloff. Wallach has experience. He's been at the major league level for a bit. See the arsenal today. And the sweeper is still the pitch he's throwing the most, but throwing it less than what we've seen on average this year. Much less, in fact.
Cutter percentage up about 9%.
Threw it there, but missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Entering today, the sweeper was being thrown 45% of the time. We saw it around 28% so far in this one.
Yeah, Cutter was 11% coming in. It's at over 20% now.
That's just off the outside corner. A check swing, but Kirilloff didn't go. So it's a full count on Kirilloff, who was struck out and grounded out today. Shohei has 7 strikeouts. He's 3 off the American League lead now. And he gets another, freezing Kirilloff with the breaking ball. His 8th strikeout and his 3rd in a row.
Especially when you go back to the pitch before, a fastball just ran a little bit off the plate, so he was gearing up thinking maybe another fastball. Instead, he gets that sweeper on the inside corner. Using all his pitches. He struck out Correa with a 98-mile-an-hour four-seamer.
Now it's Edward Julian. We talked about the 3rd time through the order. Well, so far today, 0 for 3, 3 strikeouts.
And he starts him off with a splitter there, too. Yeah, he's pretty good that 3rd time through.
Opponents 5 for 55 now. Swing and a miss.
Back-to-back splitters now. Not afraid to go back-to-back-to-back with that pitch also. This time he might want to bounce it.
Into the high fastball, and Julian watched it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 97 pitches now for Shohei. And do the Angels dare send him back out for the 7th if he can get this last out quickly here in the 6th? On 1-2 to Julian. It's downstairs, and it's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He has been patient. He's thrown him a lot of pitches in this game. He's got a walk and a strikeout. They both went to 3-2 counts. It's 2-2 now.
Swing and a miss on the breaking ball. Shohei strikes out the side. It's strikeouts 7, 8, and 9 for the day. He punched out Carlos Correa with the heater. The breaking ball freezing Kirilloff. And an awkward swing from Edward Julian ends the top of the 6th. Blue skies and a Shohei Ohtani mound day at Angels Stadium. Jared Walsh leads off the bottom of the 6th against Pablo Lopez. He's been pretty good too. Lopez is allowed a run on 5 hits in 5 innings. Ohtani's only given up 2 hits, 1 run in 6 innings.
And Shohei with 9 strikeouts, Lopez with 8 so far.
With the 9 Ks, Shohei is just 1 behind Gausman for the American League lead. Thought we were getting ice cream, but you just got a bucket hat. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Walsh. There is Reyes Moranta. Walsh fouls it off. Ohtani's at 99 pitches. You wonder if the Angels will send him back out to start the 7th at least.
Well, usually with Shohei, it's never. I mean, if you look at all his starts this season, he completes every inning he goes out to start with. So I think that's probably going to end up being it for Shohei today.
He's gotten through 6, a run, only 2 hits, 9 strikeouts. He's been excellent here today. Now Walsh with a fly ball to left field, carrying a bit, but Gallo is in front of the track to retire Walsh, and there's 1 away here in the 6th inning. Come see your Halos take on the Marlins this Friday, May 26th, and leave with style. The first 25,000 fans will have that reversible, collectible City Connect bucket hat. There you go, courtesy of Yakult Probiotic Drink. For more info, visit angels.com/promotions. That's how you do it. Here's Gio Urshela. Swinging at the first pitch, he pops it up. Correa's out. And Correa colliding a bit, goes down after running into Donovan Solano, who makes the catch. And Correa seems okay as Solano retires Urshela.
One of those plays too, especially on that sky like today. Everyone going back and looking at who's going to call for that one. And Correa ended up making the play. Solano running into him, I should say. And the out was made.
Well, 2 outs, and here's Rengifo. Lopez at 87 pitches. He's been a little bit more economical than Shohei to this point. Probably would get another inning out of Lopez the way that he's gone. For Ohtani, maybe not. And we'll see. Reyes Moranta warming up in the Angels bullpen. And 1 ball, 1 strike on Rengifo. Does have power, just a couple of homers so far this year. Count is 1-2. And Rengifo takes a breaking ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He's been trying to get him to go swing over top of that breaking ball down and in. Good swing his last at bat for a single.
Rengifo had 17 home runs last year. And now a full count. All sorts of extra base hits last season. 22 doubles. He had 4 triples last year. And he hit the ball well, especially here at Angel Stadium. Batted over 300 as Lopez wants to talk about this last pitch with Jeffers before he comes home to Rengifo on 3-2.
Yeah, already 16 walks on the season for Rengifo. Go back to last season, 17 total as far as walks.
He's kept his on-base percentage afloat, 321, despite just a 214 average entering today. Rengifo did have a base hit his last time. All eyes on Shohei at all times. He has worked 6 strong innings today. The Angels have a chance, but they haven't done much offensively with Pablo Lopez. And that is in there. Strike 3 called at the very bottom of the zone. Lopez gets the call and his 9th strikeout to end the inning. Sports brought to you by your local Southern California Cadillac dealers. By Jack in the Box. Try the Ribeye Steakhouse Burgers now at Jack in the Box. And by the OC Healthcare Agency. Build your healthiest self at angels.ocnavigator.org. Shohei Ohtani is done after 6 innings today. He was very strong in this one. Struck out 9, allowed only 2 hits. Probably the most consistent outing we've seen from him in a while.
Similar to the beginning of the season where he had a few walks, a hit, a batter, where he wasn't giving up anything as far as runs or hits. It's 2 hits allowed. It's amazing how many hits he's allowed this season. In 59 innings pitched, is 28 hits.
There's a hit allowed by Reyes Maranta. Kyle Farmer swings at the first pitch that Maranta throws as an Angel and has a leadoff single here in the 7th.
When Shohei had to use all his pitches, he had that good cutter today with 3 strikeouts with his cutter. He was also touching about 98 with his 4-seamer, but also his sinker was solid. He made some real good adjustments, I felt, with his sweeper today, and his splitter was effective. 9 punches.
It was a good outing for Ohtani. He leaves, though, with the game tied. And here's Reyes Maranta making his Angels debut. Pitched for the Dodgers and the Diamondbacks last year. Former Giant. That's where he had some real success at the end of the last decade. Good pitch there by Maranta. Changeup to get a swing and a miss by Larnach.
Yeah, he's got a really good changeup and slider, but he can get this fastball 93, 98.
Now the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Maranta with the Giants in 2018 and 19 was extremely effective. And an ERA under 3 both years. And it was toward the end of 2019 that he hurt his shoulder. He really hasn't pitched a whole lot since then. Didn't pitch at all in 2020 and barely in 2021. 3 balls and 1 strike on Larnach. So the Angels retooling their bullpen today. And they go straight to Maranta in a big spot here. Tie game in the 7th. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Maranta will walk hitters occasionally. At least he did back in his Giants days. He'll rack up the strikeouts too.
You can see that with that life on that 96-mile-an-hour 4-seamer.
Swing and a miss. Larnach cuts through that sinker from Maranta. And a big strikeout for the first out here in the 7th.
Good job by Maranta getting back and getting that punch out after falling behind 3-1 when 4-seamer, then his sinker with some movement to it. Even if you make contact, that's going to be beat into the ground. Potentially double play ball.
So now the batter, Willie Castro. Maranta starts him off with a breaking ball and a strike. Maranta from the Dominican Republic. Signed by the Giants in 2010. It's ahead of Castro 0-2. He was supposed to have a tryout for the Cubs in his hometown, Santiago, in the Dominican Republic, as we see Davinsky warming up. But a rainstorm canceled that tryout. So he tried out for the Giants instead, a team he had never even heard of. Castro lines one to left, and that's a base hit. So 2 hits allowed by Maranta. And so far in this Angels debut, he's allowed 2 of the 3 batters he's faced to reach. We'll see if he gets to face another as Davinsky gets ready in the Angels bullpen.
Well, Castro continues to have good at-bats against the Angels.
Donovan Solano is due up. Solano hit into a double play his last time. The Angels would love another. It was the 3rd that Solano's hit into this year. Swing and a miss on the high fastball. 95 on that pitch from Reyes Maranta. The Twins only managed 2 hits in 6 innings against Shohei. They've had 2 here in the 7th as they start to threaten against Maranta. Tie game.
Yeah, he went on that one. And to chase the slider well out of the strike zone.
Count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Solano stays alive, fouling the fastball back.
And when you see a swing like that on a fastball, you would think, okay, make sure you go back to that slider, see if you get him to go after that out of the strike zone here.
Solano doesn't strike out a lot. And he lays off that pitch, so it's 2-2. A spectacular Shohei, another strong performance on the mound today. And remember, he's not out of the game. He still has some at-bats coming up. Now the count is full. Well, at least the way I had it, it was full. I guess that was ball 4. The runners look confused. And Solano takes ball 4, so the bases are loaded.
And he's looking, is wondering the same thing Chad Walker. Was there a pitch violation there? Because it was definitely not. And they're going to go in and talk. I think I was still only 3-2 there. Yeah, everyone's going to go back to the bases.
That's what we had in the booth here. We thought that was ball 3. Solano just took off for first base, but he's going to have to go back and return to the batter's box. Even had a pinch runner ready for him to go in there and everything. Now Rocco Baldelli is going to ask, I think, for a check at the replay center. You can ask for a count check, and they will go back and review it to see what exactly the count should be. And Rocco Baldelli, if he's asking for that, he's doing it pretty emphatically. Well, the count is 3-2. It's been confirmed. So
I think because of the check swing, although he did call it a swing in that sequence earlier.
So maybe that threw everybody off. I don't know, but it was ball 3, and now it's a full count on Donovan Solano with runners on first and second. There's a check swing, and it's ball 4. The umpire's the one who had it wrong. He showed 3-2 before it was only 2-2. Whatever now, it's a walk, and the bases are loaded. Matt Wise talking to Maranta. The Angels have Davinsky ready, but they're going to stick with Maranta here, and we're going to stick with Jack in the Box.
My Ribeye Steakhouse burgers are made with 100% ribeye beef. Think of them as the CEO of burgers.
Well, here we go. The Angels trying to retool their bullpen, calling up Reyes Maranta and Jacob Webb today. Trying to find pitchers they can trust in big moments. One has developed here. Thanks to 2 singles and a walk, the bases are loaded for the catcher Ryan Jeffers. He's swing and a miss on the slider.
He's rolling in the 2 double plays, and the Angels right now keeping that infield at double play depth.
Maranta would love a ground ball at somebody on the infield. He'll take a strikeout too as he gets ahead. No balls, 2 strikes on Jeffers. Joey Gallo is on deck. Maranta wasting that 0-2 pitch. That's in there. Strike 3 called on the outside corner.
Might have got the benefit of that one. That might have been about a half a baseball off the corner. We'll take it though. 4-seam fastball.
Wallach again framing that up, helping Maranta get a big strike 3. So now Maranta will leave. Joey Gallo is up. They'll face Chris Stavinsky with the bases loaded. Valley Sports brought to you by Nissan. At Nissan, we make cars that thrill. Experience the thrill for yourself today. Shop NissanUSA.com. And by Spectrum One, Internet, Advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile for just $49.99 a month. Visit Spectrum.com. Chris Stavinsky, I'm sure he's spent a lot of time on those beaches over the years, being a native of the area, but he is on the mound right now trying to get a big out in a big spot. The bases loaded against Joey Gallo in the top of the 7th.
And he's faced Gallo 7 times. Gallo 1 for 7 with 3 strikeouts.
Some divisional battles then when Gallo was with Texas and Stavinsky was with the Astros. He was an all-star reliever at one time with Houston. Trying to resurrect his career with the Angels.
Nice job by Wallach keeping that in front. It's great technique on that one, keeping the glove down, but his shoulders squared up to make sure you wear that right off the chest protector and keep it in front.
Big hack, but a strike, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes on Gallo. Bases loaded, 2 outs in a tie game. And Gallo strikes out swinging. Chris Stavinsky gets him with the changeup, a huge out. The Twins. Angels baseball and Valley Sports brought to you by California Community Colleges. Enroll today at icangotocollege.com. And by Hyundai, it's your journey on every mile in a brand new Hyundai. The Angels won the opener of this series on Friday. Minnesota responded with a 6-2 win yesterday. Today, a good battle. Shohei Ohtani against Pablo Lopez, each allowing just 1 run. Ohtani threw 6 innings. Lopez still out there for the 7th. Meanwhile, this homestand continues tomorrow when the Boston Red Sox come to town. All teams above 500, all teams playoff hopefuls this year, including the Marlins, despite the worst run differential in the National League. They've won a ton of 1-run games. They'll be in town at the end of this homestand. So the Angels trying to win some series against good teams, including a first-place Minnesota team. The Angels have a chance to take 2 out of 3 from here today. Matt Thaiss leads off the bottom of the 7th inning, pinch hitting for Chad Wallach.
Real nice job by Chad Wallach behind the plate, working with Shohei. Really got, working as far as making sure he had a good, effective sweeper throughout, but also didn't overthrow the sweeper, use his other pitches.
The Angels worked on their bunting before the game today. And Theis was out there, part of that. There is just a ton of room to lay down a bunt on the third base side right now if Theis is just trying to get on base here in a tie game late. If he thought about it, he could just drop one down the third base side and run straight to first, no problem. Look at all that room.
They were working on that a lot, just to be able to push that ball right down the third baseline.
Three balls and a strike. As Theis tries to find his way on with Neto and then Moniak to follow, then Trout, then Ohtani. Angels looking for the lead late in this one. Now in the bottom of the seventh. And there's strike two on the outside corner.
Well, he doesn't give in a whole lot, Lopez. Even knowing he has to throw a strike, he's still paying at the outside corner with his four-seamer. He's been very impressive in this game.
Still 3-2. Lopez with his next pitch will reach 100. Twins bullpen is active. So is the Angels. Matt Moore is loosening up.
Looked like Theis was trying to punch that ball down the third baseline on that pitch. It was away, four-seamer.
Ball four. Matt Theis draws a leadoff walk.
Good pacing at bat by Theis, getting on base. Now you have some options.
Here comes Rocco Baldelli. He's got an option loosening up in the bullpen as Lopez is now at 100 pitches. Rocco is going to make the change to bring in a new pitcher. The Twins bullpen has been shaky at times. It looks like they will try to keep this one tied. Pablo Lopez hands the ball to Baldelli. It's 1-1 here in the seventh. When you have the bats to make up a deficit, and this technically would be a comeback win. The Angels were down 1-0 at one point today. It's 1-1 now. Only the Orioles have had more comeback wins than the Halos, who will try to get one here today as one Lopez replaces another. It's Jorge Lopez in the game now for Minnesota.
And he's got even a harder fastball, 93-99 curveball slider. He's got a plus fading changeup, and that's going to touch up to 92 miles an hour with his changeup.
Well, we know who's not going to be intimidated by that. It's the rookie shortstop, Zach Neto. Drew a walk in his last appearance against Pablo Lopez. Now faces Jorge Lopez with the go-ahead run on base. The curve drops in for a strike. Jorge Lopez was the Orioles closer for the first half of last year, then got traded to the Twins. Big Yennier Cano was in that deal going back to Baltimore. Good stop there by Jeffers. Jorge Lopez last year at a 1.68 ERA for the Orioles. Wasn't quite as sharp after he got traded. He was a starter at one time for the Orioles and really struggled. Had an ERA above 6 just a couple of years ago. Two balls and a strike on Neto.
So far being very patient, looking for a pitch he can get and drive.
Nasty pitch by Jorge Lopez.
Going to go after that slider. It's a little bit aggressive because he felt in that spot 2-1 he was getting a fastball, but didn't happen a whole lot in the big leagues anymore.
Fastball that time hit pretty well toward right. Backing up, Larnach got all twisted around. It's off the wall. Theis gets to third. He'll be held there. A double for Zach Neto. And the Angels have runners on second and third with nobody out.
Baseball will carry a little bit better here during the day. That was just an impressive swing. Good at bat for Neto. Going inside out. 97-mile-an-hour fastball, though, hard to the plate. Larnach had a tough time getting back, get that read. Zach Neto his 8th double.
Now the top of the order will have 3 chances to take the lead here. Infield comes in for Minnesota, bottom of the 7th. Ball 1 to Mickey Moniak with Trout behind him and Ohtani behind Trout. Moniak had a big base hit on Friday. An RBI triple.
He's trying to get something hit deep enough in the air, potentially advance both runners.
Angels will take a base hit too. Infield is in for the Twins. And Moniak drives one to the gap in right center field. That's going to get down. That's a base hit. The Angels take the lead. Dice scores. Neto scores. Mickey Moniak, a 2-run double. It's 3-1 Halos in the 7th.
Just loving this reaction for the youngster, Mickey Moniak. Gets that pitch, can elevate it at 97. Doubles, drives in 2. Second double of the season, 5 RBIs. All for Moniak.
He has had a slew of extra base hits since getting called up. Mentioned the RBI triple on Friday, the 2 leadoff homers he's had. That is the 5th extra base hit in 8 games for Moniak since arriving back at the major league level. And don't forget, he was the #1 pick of the draft. There is a lot of talent right there.
Yeah, he's a Moniak right now from that leadoff spot.
Well, he's hitting like he never has before.
Way to go, Wayne.
Here's Mike Trout. 3-1 Angels in the 7th. One of those runs charged to Pablo Lopez, who's now in line for the loss. And the Angels bullpen revamped a little bit. Got a couple of big outs with the bases loaded in the top of the 7th to keep this game tied. Reyes Maranta struck out Ryan Jeffers. Chris Davinsky punched out Joey Gallo. 2 huge outs. Now Trout with a fly ball foul down the line. And it can't be overlooked that as the Angels try to find trust in their bullpen, keeping the game tied in that spot was very important.
Yeah. Especially with that, even though there is a swing and miss in that bat for Joey Gallo, there's a lot of power in that bat too.
Angels have the lead for the first time today. Trying to add to it. Still a man on second with nobody out. Ground ball will move the runner over. Moniak to third.
I wonder if Shohei will be walked again. Well hit by Trout.
Rocco Baldelli makes his way to the pitcher's mound. Twins have action again in their bullpen. Jorge Lopez has required to face 3 batters, and he has faced 3 now, so it looks like the Twins will make another change. And will step out with the Angels now in the lead. Angels live postgame coming up. Some good at-bats in the bottom of the 7th inning. Matt Dice drew a leadoff walk. Zach Neto cracked a double over Trevor Larnach's head in right. And then Mickey Moniak, the go-ahead base hit. 2-run double into the gap in right center field against Jorge Lopez. Now it's Jose De Leon on the mound for Minnesota. They'll face Shohei Ohtani with a man on third. De Leon was a big prospect at one point. He was involved in some big trades. Never really panned out for him. Now 30 years old. He delivers a strike to Shohei.
This is fastball, slider, and changeup. Although the splits, you were thinking maybe when you go bring a righty in after ready on the mound. You think dominant against lefties, but 333.
Bouncer to second, coming home with the throw, Solano, and Moniak is out at the plate. The Angels had the contact play on, and Solano fielding that high bouncer threw it home to get Moniak.
He's got him out in front of that one enough to be able to get that ground ball. Solano, a quick throw to the plate. Didn't have much of an angle to get to that plate either on that slide. From the get-go, he didn't have a whole lot.
The Angels could have asked to have that looked at, but they didn't. Renfroe hits one into foul territory, and it's out of play. Renfroe has a base hit and a run scored. Close play as Ohtani dives back.
Chalet mentioned earlier, leading the team in stolen bases, home runs, RBI, extra base hits, and wins, and strikeouts, and ERA as a starter.
He is a one-stop shop for elite talent in every single way on a baseball field. He's only one strikeout off the American League lead now, after his 9 strikeouts on the mound today. Renfroe fouls this one back.
Chalet's going, I threw 99 pitches right now. I don't know how strong those legs are feeling.
Renfroe swings through a breaking ball from De Leon, and that ends the inning. But the Junior Angels come through in the bottom of the 7th. Zach Neto with a man on, punched one out toward right, a double, and that set up Mickey Moniak's 2-run double to give the Halos the lead. Suit up this season at MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Angels at MLBshop.com. Kids are all right. Neto and Moniak too.
Yes. Yes.
Here's veteran lefty Matt Moore trying to protect a 2-run lead.
Changeup's been excellent. Fastball command good. He's still trying to get that consistent feel with his knuckle curve.
Carlos Correa starts the 8th. Swings at the first pitch and lifts it toward the right field line. That is Renfroe making the running catch.
Mention that how great he has been in the outfield. That is not an easy play at all. Covering a lot of ground. See how far he's got to go. On the move, runs it down before he runs into that short wall. By the way, there's not a lot of give in that wall.
That looked like trouble off the bat. Here's a high fly off the end of the bat from Alex Kirilloff toward the corner. Moniak's all the way back, reaching into the crowd. He just barely dropped it. It's a home run for Kirilloff. Moniak had it in his glove. He was about to pull it back, and he just couldn't hang on at the last moment.
Tell you what, that would have been an all-timer. He's saying it right there in his glove, and then it popped out when he hit that short wall.
Wow.
Just as he's bringing up to show that he caught it, it slipped out.
Now it's a one-run game as Kirilloff hits the opposite field homer. Moniak hit the wall a little bit sooner than he thought he would. Now a base hit the other way for Edouard Julien.
See that when he's got that baseball and he's trying to bring it back, and at that point it slips out. What an unbelievable effort.
Almost Mickey Moniak with what would have been, as you said, an all-time great catch. Kirilloff with the home run. You see Mickey thought he had it, trying to pull it out, and that's when it fell out of his glove.
Remember a number of years ago, J.B. Shuck went into the stands when he was a member of the Angels in left field, made a play like that. Unreal play. That was almost off the charts.
Here's Kyle Farmer taking ball one. Matt Moore has given up a hard hit fly out off the bat of Correa, then the homer to Kirilloff. A well-struck single to Edouard Julien.
And they've been aggressive early against Matt Moore.
Only one out. And now a ball and a strike on Farmer, who had a base hit his last time. Swing and a miss. High fastball makes it 1-2. Farmer's had a good series. He's hit well since coming back from the injured list. And Matt Moore trying to get a big out here in the 8th inning. Ground ball to third. Urshela has it. Throws to second base one. Renifo double clutches. Still gets it off in time. A double play. Matt Moore gets a big ground ball. Urshela fired it over to Renifo quickly to get the out at second base. And then after a double pump, Renifo over to first to finish off an inning-ending double play.
Another double play started by Gio Urshela. Just a little bit of a bobble on the transfer, enough on the throw to get him just barely at first.
Well, Mickey Moniak almost made an incredible home run robbing catch. Alex Kirilloff hit it out just beyond the reach of Moniak, making it a one-run game as the bottom of the 8th begins with Jared Walsh taking a strike. Here's Moniak. Got into the wall, I think, a little bit sooner than he thought he would, which threw him off just a moment. He didn't get that glove out as far as he wanted as Walsh rolls it over to Solano. One away here in the 8th, but what an incredible effort by Moniak and nearly an all-time unbelievable catch.
Yeah, I mean, the baseball was still in his glove. He's trying to bring it up and control it to show that he made the catch.
He's still talking about it.
we are
talking
too.
about it forever if he would have caught it.
Yes.
Strike to Urshela. De Leon has come in and kept Minnesota in this game.
Yeah, you were wondering why they went to him there with Shohei Ohtani at the plate to start with. He's been great. His changeup's excellent.
De Leon, a former Dodger prospect, as Moniak reviews the tape. He's got the big hit in this game so far. Two-run double in the bottom of the 7th gave the Angels the lead. They still lead by 1 now. And Carlos Estevez getting ready in the Angels bullpen for a save opportunity. The Twins will have Larnach, Castro, and Solano due up their 6, 7, and 8 batters. I don't think we'll see Buxton today. He is on the bench. Twins are a little less likely to go to their bench as much as usual today. They've got Vasquez, they've got Taylor. They have Buxton and Kyle Garlick. A lot of times Rocco Baldelli will make many changes mid-game. He hasn't made any today, and I'm sure he really has the flexibility to do so, especially if Buxton is not available.
He utilizes the entire team. We've seen that throughout every game here.
And he's done it all season. It's something the Twins will continue to do. Really just a few guys in their lineup that they don't move around. Long at bat here for Urshela against Jose De Leon. Liner to right, base hit for Urshela.
It's amazing how good he is using the whole field. That's his 45th single this season. And they're all over from left field to center to right. Also sac fly back in the 4th inning. Good career numbers for Urshela against a team he played for in the past. Coming in at .301 batting average, covering 86 at bats.
Ball 1 to Luis Rengifo. Runner goes, swing and a miss by Rengifo. Throw to second, goes into center field. Urshela's going all the way to third. Ryan Jeffers with a throwing error on a Gio Urshela stolen base.
His second of the season, been caught twice. Second stolen base of the game for the Halos, giving them 22 on the season.
Now, good throw, and it had him, but the Angels pushing the envelope and getting 2 bases out of it.
Now bringing the infield in, trying to get that run back here. An important add-on run for Rengifo and the Angels.
Two balls, 1 strike on Rengifo. Angels trying to win the series against a good team. Make it 2 out of 3. They'll face the Red Sox in a 3-game set that starts tomorrow night. It's all night games against Boston. I don't know the Angels starter yet tomorrow. Flip a coin, I guess, between Silseth or Berea. We know Tanner Houck will pitch for the Red Sox. Griffin Canning Tuesday against Brian Bayo. And Tyler Anderson starts Wednesday. Ground ball to Solano with the infield in. Urshela can't move. And Rengifo unable to get a big insurance run home. So 2 outs, and Matt Thaiss will bat.
Back-to-back innings with the infield in. And everyone's able to get inside both Shohei and Rengifo. Unable to get him home.
Ohtani hit a grounder to Solano, and the run tried to score then, but Solano threw out Moniak at the plate. In this case, Urshela was not moving. Would have been thrown out most likely anyway. So it'll take something with 2 outs to give the Angels an insurance run here in the 8th. Matt Thaiss had a good at bat his last time, his first plate appearance of the day. He walked. Not a rally started with back-to-back doubles following him to give the Angels the lead. That one just missed. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Estevez is ready in the Angels bullpen. Nobody's up for Minnesota. The Angels try to add to the lead here. It's 3-2 in the 8th inning. And there's a strike from De Leon, a former Dodgers prospect. He's had a lot of injuries over the years. Missed most of last year with an injury. Most of 2021 as well.
Remember him being a big-time prospect and trade over to Tampa.
It's for Logan Forsythe before the 2017 season, after De Leon was very good at AAA in 2016. Down the line, a base hit for Theis. That was a chip shot. It scores Urshela. Matt Theis around second as the ball gets bobbled in left field by Gallo. Theis goes all the way to third.
Wow, this went down. That is a tough pitch to make any contact with. That Theis coming through, that add-on run. This pitch going down and away. This makes contact with it. And what a swing for Theis.
A double and an error as Gallo misplayed it in the left field corner. And what it really is a big insurance run. 2 errors in this inning for Minnesota. And the Angels lead by 2 again. Neto drives one toward the right field corner. Moving back for it is Larnach near the wall, but it's a foul ball.
Pretty good power the other way, though. Threw about last time up to the wall in right center.
And his first big league home run here at Angel Stadium was to right center field. Angels ahead 4-2 after Theis's RBI double. 2 good plate appearances for Theis off the bench today. He didn't start this game. He came in to pinch hit for Wallach in the 7th. Drew a key leadoff walk that set up the 7th inning rally. And now a 2-out RBI double here in the 8th for an insurance run. Neto swings and misses to end the inning. But the Angels tack on a run. Matt Theis on the day of the PGA Championship ending. A little wedge shot down the third base line right inside the bag. And the bench supportive as the Angels lead by 2.
For the game today, home sweet. A chance to win a series against division-leading Minnesota Twins. The Angels playing some good baseball here at home. The youngsters, the kids, dealing. And Matt Theis is nice with that double down the left field line to get that add-on run.
Carlos Estevez trying to become the first Angel reliever in 11 years to start a season 12 for 12 in save tries. We'll have Larnach, Castro, and Solano due up 6, 7, and 8 in the Minnesota order. Twins are headed back to Minneapolis after this one. They'll play the San Francisco Giants tomorrow night at Target Field. And the Angels will stay home for the next week, through the next week, all the way through next weekend, with the Red Sox in town next, then Miami.
First things first, that first batter here for Esty against the Minnesota Twins.
Almost hit Larnach. Two balls, no strikes. First batter faced this year. Estevez has retired most of them. Opponents 3 for 21 against Estevez the first time. He has not walked any of them. But he's behind Larnach 3-0. He has not issued a leadoff walk this season. And that helps you as a closer to be successful, and that's certainly been a big part of Estevez getting the job done the way that he has. And there's a strike to Larnach.
It's one of those times, especially a 3-1 count, you just trust your defense to make the plays behind you.
Comes back with strike 2. Ground ball to second. And Carlos Estevez once again retires the first batter that he faces. Larnach, after being ahead 3-0, grounds out.
Nice job battling all the way back and getting that soft contact on the ground to get that first out. Especially with Castro coming up, who's hit the ball hard throughout this entire series.
2 hits today for Castro. Had a home run in the game Friday. And one pretty good year with the Tigers and hasn't hit a whole lot since then. And ball, no strikes. Solano on deck, then Jeffers. What Estevez really wants to avoid is Joey Gallo. Twins would need 2 base runners in this inning to bring up Gallo.
Good life on his fastball again today. He's been throwing a lot more fastballs too. How about at 98?
2 balls and 1 strike on Castro. Looper towards center and a base hit over the head of Neto. So Castro gets his 3rd hit today. And that brings up Donovan Solano with the tying run now at the plate.
Just went down and got that fastball. He's made some contact with it. Has throughout this whole series.
The Angels have turned 3 double plays today. One of them on Solano in the 5th inning. Correa in the 1st and Farmer to end the 8th.
Castro with 5 hits in the series, including double and a home run.
So he's on again, and here's Solano 0 for 3. 0 for 2 rather, walked his last time. .99 on that fastball from Estevez. Good breaking ball snaps over for strike 2.
Overthrew that slider, ended up being elevated above the strike zone.
Draws the count even on Donovan Solano with Ryan Jeffers, the number 9 batter and catcher, on deck. Angels trying to win the series at home against Minnesota. Solano had a good cut at that fastball.
Staying upstairs on all those pitches, he tracked that one pretty well.
Makes a lot of contact. Doesn't often strike out. And Estevez misses for ball 3.
That was fairly close.
Joan Duran, the Minnesota closer, warming up in their bullpen. They're hoping for a comeback. 3-2. Solano strikes out. Straight gas, 98 down the middle. Hit it or don't.
Yeah, he went, challenged him right down the heart. 98. Hit that baseball well. A lot more life on his fastball this season away from Coors Field.
2 outs. Estevez has always had good stuff. Strike 1 to Jeffers. He would reach a new career high in saves with this one today. He's never had 12 in a season. He's gotten to 11 a couple of times. One ball, 1 strike on Jeffers. Joey Gallo on deck. The Angels would prefer to worry about him in September when the Angels go to Minnesota. Jeffers lines it to right. Renfroe is there. He's got it. Say goodnight to the Twins. The Angels win the series. Carlos Estevez remains perfect in save tries. He is 12 for 12, and the Angels earn one today. A hard-fought win to beat Minnesota 4-2.
And the big thing, Wayne, they won a series against a team with the winning record and the division-leading Minnesota Twins. That's a good start to this homestand. Well played. The kids were outstanding. Shohei Ohtani, excellent on the bump today, going 6 innings with 9 strikeouts, his 2 hits allowed. And in the bullpen, able to close it out. What a game, what a win.
Shohei Ohtani started it off on the mound today. 6 innings, struck out 9, had a base hit as well. But his pitching was really as strong as we've seen it maybe in a month or so. The way that Ohtani looked today. Sweeper did what it was supposed to do most of the time, and he threw his fastball a lot.
And I loved his cutter, too. He had a good cutter, 3 strikeouts with his cutter today. So the creative one, even more so creative today. A Toyota player of the game for Shohei. Also had a base hit in the game. That was a big, big victory against Minnesota here today.
Well, the bullpen got some big outs. There were some timely hits late. That's how you beat a good team. And the Angels did it today as they beat the Twins 4-2. Mickey Moniak had a big hand in this one. He had the go-ahead hit. He's standing by right now with Erica Weston.
Wayne, thanks very much. Mickey, your 5th extra base hit in just 8 games. Are we seeing the results of all of the hard work that you put in this offseason right now?
Absolutely. You know, it's just good to be out here in front of all these fans, man. We had a good turnout today, and it's just awesome to come out with the win, series win, and now we roll on.
There was a play over there in left field. You know I got to ask you about it. It would have been the catch of the century had you held on to it. Talk us through it. What happened?
Yeah, so I mean, I was dead spread. I knew there was this small wall over there, and you know, kind of just went all out, and I actually caught it. And the jolt took my thumb out of the glove. I saw it all happen in slow motion. I came back, ball rolled out, and it's a big what if.
All's well that ends well, though. You guys get the win, a series victory over a first-place team in their division. What does it say about what you guys are doing right now?
You know, I think we're rolling. I think that the boys are out here grinding. We've had some good games the last, you know, at least 5 games. And, you know, we're grinding through them. We're playing team baseball, and it's fun right now. We just got to keep it rolling.
Keep it rolling. Thanks for the time, Mickey. Nice job today.
Thank you.
All right, guys.
All right, Erica, thank you very much.
Love that.
The halo will shine brightly tonight, Gooby.
That was so cool. I just love that reaction. It says this team is starting to get on a roll. They're starting to get that feel. When you beat a division-leading team like they did the Minnesota Twins, you got to feel good to be able to carry that against Boston coming up.
4-2 the final today at Angels Stadium. The Angels get it done against the Twins in the rubber game of this series. For Mark Ubazan, Erica Weston, our entire crew, I'm Wayne Randazzo. We say goodnight from Angels Stadium. Angels Live postgame is next.